did me the same way. In fact, I worked harder with them than I did, way harder. I'd drive all over the country, all this stuff. Because that's what was needed at that time. So, how can all of them pop up and all of a sudden, this dumb stuff that brothers be doing? That's the dumb brothers, but the good brothers, right? See, the good brothers went back home. It was just a rule. One stay here while you stay here. With all that education, and they need you back home, right? So you get a feel for who was real or not, that's one of the criteria. And anybody that stayed here, did you stay here because it was your mission to stay here? That's different. If your assignment is you stay here in America. There's a lot of people that assignment is to stay here. But they're hidden. For me, they don't show themselves. Because if they show themselves, their mission is blown. But I do know certain things. I can feel and I can tell all this kind of stuff happening. There's a lot of things happening out there that is somebody out there, or somebody up there likes me, right? You can tell, you can feel it. You do it too long. Anyway, it's a long story. Let me get through this. Beginning of the end of this fight, public ass kicking, public humiliation. It's public humiliation for Boss Man. Look, if he's not humiliated with Donald Trump, then he can't get humiliated. Can you imagine, like we say, in this fight, when they ring the bell, Don go to the wrong corner every time, right? Whatever he should do, he don't do that. Every time, right? So that means it don't make no difference whether he's playing or whether he's serious. The world takes him as serious. They say that guy there is doing that. He real, right? So whatever little gain they would get by playing a game, they don't get it from real life because the world see that as reality. And the prestige of the United States is all gone. And our prestige is rising. Can you imagine? Just think about all of Darhidra, one of the groups out there, what is it? All Dallas or something like that. Huh? Adams. Can you imagine? Now, they may have more or less now, but they have 28 satellites. Each one of them have quadruple the amount of people, and they sitting up in there scared. Yeah, Ridwan, Jaka, and them, and all of them. And how do they treat us? They treat us like, okay, it's okay to lie to Imam Musa. What's the name when I was out there? But Abdul Haq called us in the office. They sent the Bangladeshi brother out. Vice President, oh, come on in, Imam Musa, we'll talk about all this. Okay, what's up? Well, we're prepared to Abdul Haq was there. I said, well, we just need about 100,000 for the project or so. We'll take care of that. That's what they said. That's several years ago. Well, that's a decade ago almost. So what? They said it, right? The Salafis, one of the imams that passed away owed me about 10,000, I forget. I gave him so much oil. But he didn't have to pay me back because I was tainted. My behavior in the masjid is tainted too. But Shiism or something. I said, okay, I mean, don't pay me back. I don't, right? In other words, everybody knows. If you take Mella Yell and them, I used to travel up to their things and hang out with them and try to work with them, and they would just roll right along. Shoot, in '97, we was at this program in Chicago. Yeah, Abdul Malik came with us that time, and all of them was there. Was a guy from Chicago that made the movie with Nasha Sheehy. Yeah, Nasha Sheehy, he was all there. At that time, Hamza Yusuf was there. So Zayd come by at my table with Hamza Yusuf. We want to have a meeting with you. I said, fine. We had a meeting upstairs in the thing that overlooked the whole thing. And so Hamza was saying, well, the brothers, they act mean to me. That's what Hamza was saying. They look for the, I said, niggas were scared about it. Our people are over. So I told him, I said to him, you can do what you want. They can't, Abdul Malik was there, and I was telling him, y'all leave him alone. He can do what he wants. Well, he's Maliki teaching, hell, he can teach anything he wants. Okay, so they already see where people's coming from. Why, if we have a certain thing, they don't say, well, you kind of worked with us. We just at least say hi. They don't say nothing. Anyway, science fiction management, we've been into science fiction management. I just didn't talk about it much. The science fiction management is the little dumb stuff. When the FBI come in here and they sit there with this gadget, actually 2 feet from my head, I guess he's measuring, you know what I mean, whatever it is. Because they was acting just like, in Salt, they had, when they got this Russian guy, and they got him in, did you see that?
I saw it.
Okay, they got the Russian guy in this room, and they're questioning him, and they all over here, and they got a brain scan on him, and it's saying he's telling the truth. Is that okay? So, that was 10 or 15 years ago. So that means they got that stuff right now. Okay. So the guy sitting there holding the thing on me and all that, and they just, he acting like he know, you're lying, Imam Musa. He ain't saying nothing like that. So whatever the gadget was, and I didn't have the operation then. Remember, I didn't beat upside the head by then. And then, on the year anniversary, remember I was sitting here and the doctor called from the hospital. How are you doing? Oh, I'm just fine. Hell, I don't know what just fine like me. So maybe we're imagining things, or maybe it might be true. It might be that every doggone thing we're saying is true. It's possible. Okay, I'm going. Attitude, same fight, different. Train for 500 rounds. Okay. The system don't know what round is. They don't know what round is. It's none of their business. Proof they go into the wrong corner. Beginning of the end of this fight, public ass kicking, public end of an era. Beginning of the next global dispensation. In other words, we're at the end of this one, what we call it. But it's just the end of it again, it's just talk. But by the time the dust settles on this one, we'll be way into all of the stuff, the Masjid, the schoolish stuff, the building, other buildings around here. All of that will be taken care of in this. It'll be easy. It ain't no hard work because we already, set for that. Identify allies in each group. I mean, the government, they done just about knocked the whole show. But there's always a misfit. 1, 2, 3, 5. You know what I mean? Somebody is going to be touched by certain things. That's just the way it is. You don't know how many it will be, but there are certain realities. It's human nature. Old Lincoln said you can fool some of the people some of the time, you can fool all the people, some of the people all the time, but you can't fool all the people all of the time. Something like that, right? And it's true. So that means our numbers are getting ready to improve because what we're saying already exists. It is getting a little chilly and stuff. That thing is really serious. It gets cold fast, don't it?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, but anyway, this thing, no, that thing, boy, it's good, Just imagine if we didn't have it.
Right.
Good God Almighty, we'd be up in here sweating like the other brother in the house the other day, wiping his. He ain't got no air. He in a room where there ain't no air, something like that, with a fan. But anyway, let's get back to what it was. Identify allies in each group. Now, I have here the name Anjuma, that's the Iranians. Muslim Congress, that's the Indo-Pakistani type Shias. We help them get the place started. Liberals, FBI, CIA types, government workers. The same thing, sell them on the dream. Because it's like the law of large numbers. They use it in advertisement. All these little handbills that's in the mailboxes. I mean, you don't answer them, but if they've been passing them out, putting them in the mailbox for years and years. So the law of large numbers, if we pass out 10,000 of them, 15 people listen, 15 is enough to pay for the advertisement, and they wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't working, right? The law of large numbers is there so many people got us surrounded that some of them got to be good. That's the law of large numbers, right? All of them can be 100, and some of them have been mistreated a little bit here and there. Or their cousin, or something, right? You never know what it is. So out of all the people we're involved with, we can count on that there is a certain number that's on our team. You know why? Because it's not an advertisement, but we're honest and we're right. That's the old saying, you can't cheat an honest man. That's not true, but still, This has to be true because we're here. We're here. We're here. We're happy. We're doing this. And that means Allah had to arrange this environment for us to be here, right? We definitely didn't do it. We think we did it, or we make the white man think. We tell him, oh yeah, we really rope-a-dope on your behind, and we do this, that, and other. And we do that. But that's under instruction, not the physical instruction in words and all that, but under timing, under history. That's why all the stuff we do, Quran, right, Sunnah, history, and our circumstances, right, our experience. It's working like a charm. Our experience tells us, the Quranic experience tells us that there's always some good people somewhere, sometime. Okay, and we're getting the benefit of it. The government works okay. That might be okay. We didn't talk about boss man getting tired. Where we are now, where the system is now. Well, I just mentioned this. We talked about these new rounds are championship rounds. Boss man, just like in the fights, these are championship rounds. You know, they call them, they used to be 15, now I think they cut them down so far, I don't see what they're doing. But anyway, we used to the old time fights. We trained for this, what we got here. We're trained for 500 rounds. And evidently we are, because you don't see no signs of tiredness and huffing and puffing and anxious, right? I mean, if you see it, just say so I can check it out. But do you see any signs of anxiousness, negroology, anything? I don't see it. I don't tell you, I don't feel none of that. And therefore, whether the people understand it, a public ass-kicking means that we have to tell you stuff so you know what we're talking about. You ain't gonna believe them niggas they don't feel that way. Yes, we do. Yeah, that's what we're telling you. That's what's happening. Okay. We're going to keep moving on step by step. We ain't going to get way out there where you don't understand what we're talking about. But if somebody come in new on this and they just heard today's talk, they might be stretched out a little. You know what I mean? Yeah. They get, because somebody, if it's your first one, then it's all right, one thing. You're going to be out in space. But all of y'all who heard 5 or 10, you have witnessed everything that we're talking about here. You've witnessed it. Because redundancy, repetitiveness, over and over again. And that's how you learn anything. Over and over and over again, right? Basic forms. George Holmes, okay. Global fundraisers, we'll be into that. Last thing we present ourselves as we see ourselves. Things that we've already done. Are there any questions, any comments about this stuff?
Yeah, there were some questions that came and okay. Right. So a couple questions. All right. Yeah. So a brother early on during the talk was you were talking about some of the fiqh that you were speaking of. Mm-hmm. He was asking. Imam, where do you find the fiqh of the different tactics you were talking about?
Where do you find them at?
Yeah, that's,
That is a good question. So just keep searching and you'll find them somewhere, you know.
all right.
But, okay, I just don't tell you, I might as well, I mean, remember, Quran, Sunnah, history. And in our experience, a lot of the fiqh follow those sources. It has to be Quranic. It has to be sifted through that. It has to be sifted through the Sunnah. It has to be sifted through history. And we just call these fiqh is to know, you know, fiqh, yeah. So this is not a technical fiqh like we got something over here, the fiqh of counter-espionage and divorce. There's no such thing. There's no fiqh of counter-espionage. Although there are issues that deal with espionage. For instance, the lady had a note she was taken to the Meccans, and I think Ali was sent to pull her over, and according to standard fiqh, a man cannot search that woman. He said, I'm going to strip you down. And she produced the information. You know, she produced the letter, but she had it hidden on her body. There's certain things that become necessary that are, yeah, this is normal. Okay, where does our fiqh come from? I'm gonna give you one. Well, I almost shouldn't, but I might as well. Do y'all remember talking about the fiqh of deception in Salah?
Yeah.
Do you remember me talking about the government watching me because the woman called me the other day and asked me, what's about your hand, right? Because of masturbation.